The KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
Cheers to the long weekend and hope you're enjoying the best of the KQ Morning Show podcast, sponsored by Devani's Pizza and Hot Hoagies. We'll be back with fresh episodes on Monday, July 8th.
The best of the KQ Morning Show.
Back in the old days, back in the old days of the 70s, we used to say things like, cool. That was a hip term. Oh, man, he's cool.
Far out.
What was the lingo? And then Happy Days kept, all of a sudden the word nerd came back in because of Happy Days. Yeah. These things happen, but we go through slang terms and then we move on from them. I'm looking at a list of slang terms to bring back. I already mentioned, as you said, hell's bells. I just want to bring it back. It was never really an American term. Other parts of the world would say, hell's bells. But I like that one. Giggle mug is a word. Someone who smiles too much, constantly has a grin on their face. We have all known a giggle mug. Scott Evans, Robbie Welliford. There's two that I went to school with. Both giggle mugs. They always had a grin.
Little punt.
Like, what are you laughing at? Nothing?
No, but I often think back to Lowell Punt. And wherever you are out there, Lowell, somewhere in the world, maybe you've drifted over to Minnesota. I'd love to hear from you. But, he just laughed at everything, and he had a great snickery kind of almost cartoon laugh.
Kind of hyena-like.
I just want him in a corner of a radio show I'm doing. Just sit over there about 2 feet away from a microphone and just laugh at everything.
Lowell Punt.
Lowell Punt is his name.
What? That sounds like a character Billy Bob Thornton would play in a movie. Lowell Punt. What a name. That's great.
Great one.
How about this? Sauce box. A term for someone's mouth. Shut your sauce box.
I like that.
I like it.
Sauce box.
It's better than pie hole.
I do like that. I'm gonna use that one on the boat a lot.
Sauce box.
Sauce box.
Yeah, sauce box to me would be that's the mouth of someone who's drinking copious amounts of alcohol. But no, just straight up, shut your sauce box, kid. Like, go get your shine box. That's a shine box. That's a literal shine box. Yeah. An old British term for a drunk person is arf, arf, and arf. Arf, arf, and arf. Don't give him another beer. He's already arf, arf, and arf.
Arf, arf, and arf.
The term comes from a drink called an arf and arf that's half beer, half ale. Well, you're splitting hairs when you're like, is that a beer or an ale? Just give it to me.
Yeah,
just let me drink it.
It's cold.
Somebody who's greedy and pompous is a pumblechook. Pumblechook.
Rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
Yeah, it could be better. Just a pumchuck would be better.
Yeah,
or just a chook.
D-bag.
A term for someone's legs when their pants are too tight. Gas pipes. That's pretty good.
All right.
Look at that hipster with his dumb gas pipes. I like that one. There was a kid at our school, and her dad was a very. Looking back now, I'm kind of astonished. What was her name? Lisa somebody. Her parents would come into the basketball game. She was a cheerleader. And her dad was the thinnest adult man I've probably ever known. And he would be sitting in the bleachers, and so his pant legs would be riding up a little bit. The way you sit and your feet are out in front of you. And his pants would ride up, and he was always wearing boots, but his legs were way skinnier than like the boot. There was always he looked like he was wearing oversized boots, but he wasn't. He was just such a thin person.
Wow.
And I remember, and I said something one time about that, and what I said was, his legs in those boots, it looks like a toothpick and a banana peel. I said that out loud. And she his daughter heard me say that, and that girl hated me for the rest of my life. To this day, she's somewhere going, I hate that Steve Gorman.
I like that she's protective about her dear old pops, but it wasn't, as far as derogatory statements, that's on the light list.
Could have been a lot worse.
I went to school with a guy whose legs are so skinny he had to use rubber bands to hold his tube socks up.
That's not
seriously.
true.
Yeah,
no
it's
cabs.
true. It
no
was
cabs.
Scott Height, and he was 6'9".
6'9", Scott Height. I love it. That's perfect.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, pretty
Rubber
cool.
bands.
I like this. Here's an old slang expression. Acknowledge the corn. Which is this is like from the 1800s, to admit the truth or to confess to something. Hey man, sooner or later we all have to acknowledge the corn.
There is no corn
true.
there. I do not see corn.
He acknowledged the corn, finally admitting he was drunk that night. Acknowledge the corn. What in the world?
Yeah, it sounds like something I'd do to my brother, shoving his face into like a bowl of corn.
Right.
Acknowledge the corn.
Man, that's
Acknowledge the corn, Chris, and it's all over. Just say uncle. Acknowledge the corn.
That's great. I like that one. A long knife used to be known as an Arkansas toothpick.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You hear that like in old Clint Eastwood movies.
To beat all or beat the devil, they called that beat the Dutch. Of all I've ever heard of, that one sure beats the Dutch.
Oh, all right.
How hard was it to beat the Dutch? They're
Right.
they're very peaceful people. They're like, look what we did with our waterways.
Yeah, no.
Ow! Why are you hitting me? I mean, they're Dutch. They don't care.
Germany didn't have much trouble with them.
No, they're
walk
totally
through that
cool.
country. Yeah.
Come on through. Just leave it like you found it, would you? We all know this isn't going to last. Just be cool about it. Here's another good one for being drunk: a brick in one's hat. You'd say like, "Oh man, that dude had a brick in his hat." A brick in his hat.
All right.
One of my favorite expressions for drunk is "tore slap up." That's a Southern one. Oh man, I was tore slap up. The more you say it, the less sense it makes, which is a perfect. That's why it's so perfect. Oh, he was tore slap up.
The best of the KQ Morning Show.
But I mean, I saw a video last week, and it was taken at a zoo, and they set up a thing where they had like 4 incredibly large muscle-bound men doing a tug of war with a rope. That on the other end of the rope went through a glass wall, and on the other side of that rope was one female lion, and they were pulling as hard as they were straining every bit of their incredible strength, and this lion was barely flinching and just keeping them in place. They could not tug of war one lion. Yeah. And a mountain lion, or a puma. Let's just call it a puma. It's fun to say puma. They're not playing games. They get right in. They get you by the neck and you're toast, right? There's no fighting off a mountain lion.
No, there was a story years ago out in Washington. A mountain biker was attacked by a mountain lion, and he ended up choking it out and killing it with the old.
Oh, that's right.
The old leg grip. I mean, they got it in the leg lock.
Oh my God!
But it turns out it was a very small, emaciated, sick mountain lion.
Yeah,
it's the only reason he got away with that one. Even he admitted it.
Not only do you need the sick, emaciated mountain lion, you have to know how to do the leg lock. Like, that's not a guy who just watched wrestling as a kid and figured out maybe it'll work. He's done that before, I bet you anything.
That tug-of-war mountain lion, was it in its paws or in its mouth? That it was
in its mouth. No, just in its mouth. It was just in its mouth. Like, whatever. What are you guys doing?
Anyone that's ever tried to throw a cute little calf knows just exactly how strong animals are. That's animal strength. There's old man strength, and then there's wild animal strength. That's a whole different level.
I'll say this right now. I'm confident I can take down, if need be in a pinch, if my family's threatened, an adult raccoon.
No, you can't. No,
really?
No? Absolutely.
I can't take down Rocky Raccoon?
We used to go clubbing raccoons at night. You can do that legally in South Dakota. You spotlight them, and then they're caught in the light, and then you smack them with an axe handle or a bat or something like that. Because you get $40 for each coon that you kill.
Nice.
And that was good money when I was a kid.
Yeah, it was.
So anyway, my brother with like big welding gloves on tried to catch one that he cornered, a small raccoon. I would say it was, somewhere between just a baby raccoon and an adult raccoon. The strength that they possess in those little bodies, he couldn't even hold on to it for a second. No.
Yeah, but if it's life and death, if it's coming at me with intent to kill, I'm still I believe what you say. I don't doubt it. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what. There's not a possum alive I can't kill if need be. I will step down to the possum level, or an opossum if you prefer. All right. I will take that bastard down.
All right, I'm going to go down to a hedgehog for myself.
Yeah, they're slow, kind of chunky around the edges there.
You have to go down to like an otter or a squirrel.
Hey, dude,
Turtle.
don't mess with an otter, dude. Trust me.
Much bigger than you think.
Yeah, they're nasty.
Yeah,
they you know what their real super strength is? You think they're cute and cuddly, and so no matter how much you're warned, you've got a subconscious. Oh, come on, how bad could it be? And then you are looking at your face on the ground, going, "Wait a minute, that's supposed to be on my head."
Yeah. It might depend on where you get the otter. I still think on land you're screwed, but if it's in the water, game over.
Yeah, no question about it. This is food for thought. What's the biggest animal What's the largest animal you're pretty sure you can take if need be in a pinch, life or death? This is something to think about. Let's go there. The Facebook page, KQRS, it's up. Let's get some answers. I'm curious just how deluded we all are about our own strength.
Maybe a redhead.
Yeah, this is gonna really appeal to the certain subsect of society who thinks they can land a plane if need be. Let's see what we got. Hit us up on Facebook. I'm not the guy who says I can land a jet plane if I need to. I'm not the guy who says I can drive a car through a loop-de-loop if I need to. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna jump a school bus on a motorcycle, and I'm not gonna fight a mountain lion. I did, however, say, pretty confident I could take down a raccoon if need be. Like a matter of life or death, I'll take it. I'll take a raccoon on. When I said that, Ryder snorted, coughed, and laughed all at once in response. And then Zeb told me, no, you couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, those things, by the way, have some pretty awesome choppers. I mean, they're big, spiky teeth, and they have that wild animal strength. We talk about old man strength. That's nothing compared to wild animal strength.
Nope.
They, per pound, it's there's a lot of fight in a raccoon. And,
sure.
I mean, you get one in your hands. You try to, I remember my brother live trapping one, and we just tried to get it out of there. We were just trying to get it out of the trap, and it just about killed both of us. So,
the animal kingdom.
Raccoon, I think.
The animal kingdom they don't have moments of their life in air conditioning, and they don't make instant mac and cheese. Yeah. It's a very difficult, different way to work through the planet, to work through life. So they're ready at a moment's notice.
No.
So I'm still okay. I take you at your word. I value your opinion, but I'm still feeling kind of confident about this raccoon. On the KQRS Facebook page, we did ask, what's the biggest animal you could kill with your bare hands? I've just got one I've got to come right to. Mark wrote, I'm a retired MMA professional, and I could probably take down a horse.
I love that one.
That is incredible.
Yeah, that is. We'd love to watch that happen, by the way.
Mark is the guy who would land a plane on his way to taking down the horse.
Yes.
Does anyone know how to fly a plane? No, but I'm a retired MMA professional, and I'd like to take a shot at that.
It'd be kind of like those rodeo guys when they rope the calves, on the horse. He would bring the plane in, jump out of the plane onto the horse, and just put it down.
Really, really, really good. Well, a lot of people commenting. I mean, we've got like triple-digit comments. A lot of people saying, "Probably, I can't even handle a mosquito. Why do you ask me to handle something larger?" That makes perfect sense.
The trouser snake. That's funny. John, I just want to say this out loud. I don't know what it is, but it's fun. Saber-toothed crotch cricket. Anyone? Right? Say it out loud.
Wow, saber-toothed crotch cricket. Okay, all right. I like David wrote, he could take down Officer Doherty of the Minneapolis Police Department. Is that an actual person we know?
I don't know. There's Doug with a little kitty. Yeah, maybe a kitty, especially before they open their eyes. A blue whale.
Okay, Chris wrote an alligator. I have seen people say the key to the alligator is don't let him open his mouth. Once he opens it, he'll snap it down. But apparently, like the down snap is all the strength, but getting an alligator's mouth open, they don't have really strong opening muscles.
No.
So if you get there first, you can wrap up an alligator's snout and he won't be able to open it. I'm not going to put that to the test.
No, my brother did, though. He held an alligator's mouth closed.
Really?
We were at alligator, what's it called? Alligator out in the Black Hills. Reptile Gardens.
Reptile Gardens.
Yeah, Reptile Gardens.
Is like a petting zoo area there?
Yeah, well, they have the little guy that gets out there and wrestles with them or whatever. He does, the whole thing, gets out there and messes around.
Kids.
Yeah, and he invited Chris, can I get a volunteer? And all of our arms shot up in the air.
Sure.
But he picked Chris, and Chris went out there and he had him hold the mouth closed. And and Mom and Dad didn't think anything of it. Like, hold that alligator's mouth closed, Chris. And
wow.
Yeah, he let you do it. And
wait, what? Tell me what this place is called again.
Reptile Gardens. It's it's like Bear Country, USA. It's one of these little roadside stops out in the Black Hills.
Not far from Wall Drug, right?
That's right. Yeah, just when you're rolling around into the Rapid City area there.
Yeah, I'm checking it out. Reptile Gardens. That's pretty strong. There was there's a House of Blues in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina that I've played shows at several times. And if you walk out of the dressing room, there's like a little side porch balcony area, and it overlooks like the alligator park of Myrtle Beach. And so when you're backstage at this venue, you just sit there and watch hundreds of alligators in a lagoon swimming around, just staring up at you like, your band sucks, man. You can just see those alligators on there like, you overblown. You guys think you're something. Bring that down here, dude. And they're just like challenging you to go closer. Yeah, it always really unsettling. I'm not a fan of reptiles on any level. There's not a reptile on Earth that I'm going to be like, oh, let me see him. I just see black eyes, and I think there's no relating to this. I'd rather take my chances with like a jaguar than an alligator. That's just me.
Yeah, no, an alligator on land, or a jaguar in the water. I don't know about that, man. I've gone down some rabbit holes. I've seen jaguars and crocodiles fighting in the Amazon, I think, or somewhere. I don't know. 651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talk and text line. We've got some texts. We've also got, I believe, a call right now. Who's on the horn?
Mike from Minneapolis has his tale of man versus beast.
Oh, Mike, lay it on us, brother. What do you got?
Well, we found a big old buck laying on the side of the road with a road to kill, and so my dad tells me, "Oh, go grab it." So I go grab it off the road, and I pulled once, and when I pulled again, the son of a bitch stood up next to me. All the legs was knocked out.
Wow.
So it tried to stab me the first time. It
Oh,
alerted
no.
me. I had all the horns, so I kept it off me. But then it started jumping up and down and kicking me, and I'm in peril. I mean, this thing was big, and I was holding on for dear life. And thank God my dad came out of the truck, and he used to sell knives, so he came out and he handed me a fillet knife, and I wound up getting it through the throat that way and riding it down. But I was in peril. I was definitely holding on for dear life.
Man, the big difference between roadkill and road hurt.
Yeah, no, dear. I
definitely got lucky on that one.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, no kidding. I had one charge me one time when I was out hunting. Got my rifle up in the rack, locked with the rifle a little bit there. I probably would have had a little puncture wound.
Yeah, that would have been rough. Thank you for the call, man. That's a terrifying story.
The horns aren't for decoration.
No, they're not. Yeah, Tommy Boy. We all remember the scene in Tommy Boy when the deer wakes up.
It's a roaring deer.
Yeah.
It did. The deer yelled, too.
Mike went to see that film, and everyone's laughing, and he's just sitting there quietly like, it's not funny.
Had to walk out of the theater.
I was on a golf course in Pennsylvania years ago on the road with my cousin who was on the road with my band. And I'm at a tee box. It's just the two of us. And I'm standing over my ball. I'm about to hit. And he just goes, "Hey, Beaver," which was my family childhood nickname was Beaver. And I looked at him. I go, "Dude, I'm about to hit." He goes, "Yeah, yeah." And I look down at the ball again. He goes, "Hey, Beaver." And I look at him, I go, "What?" He goes, "I'm not talking to you." And I turn, and 2 feet behind me on the tee box is a very large beaver.
Great.
He's just standing there looking at me like, "What are you doing with that stick in your hand, man?" And it freaked me out to see a beaver that close. And he had just slowly walked up behind me like, no fear whatsoever. And I thought then, you get a look at those choppers on a beaver, and you're like, yeah, that guy, he's bringing down trees. My legs don't stand a chance.
You ever see a beaver take down a tree?
Not in person, no.
Yeah, I watched one on the bank. First of all, I thought someone had some sort of, not a wood chipper, and it wasn't a chainsaw kind of sound, but I thought that sounds like some sort of electric power tool. And I'm walking along the river. This is out in Montana. And I come around the corner, and it's a beaver working on a tree. And I'm like, oh, my God, look at that son of a gun go. I'd never actually watched one, so I just sat there and watched it. Knocked down a tree that was probably, I'm going to say, in diameter, maybe 6 inches. Not very big. But he took that sucker down in 1,001, 1,002, 1,005, maybe. Wow. The entire thing. And I watched him take down 3 trees right there. Mm-hmm. And they are, that's their thing, man.
They look at you like you dropped the mic.
Yeah,
so that's how it's done.
That's
man.
how it's done, right? No kidding.
Awesome.
Nature.
Go ahead, Brian. Get your axe out and show me how it's done.
Have you ever tried that? So I've been out camping, and of course I've got my hatchet, I'm going camping. I need a hatchet. Somebody say, hey, I go knock down a tree that's like 1 inch in diameter, and I'm just out there hacking away for 15 minutes going,
oh, man.
I thought these things would I thought like a ninja. I would just like knock it down. But no, those beavers are built to cut down trees.
I had a school excursion to a state park in Kentucky in like middle school, and one of the things you could do is kayak to a beaver dam, and I was like, hell yeah, let's go. Ooh. And we kayaked across this lake, and we came to a beaver dam or a beaver den, like where they all lived. Their spread was enormous. It's like, I remember thinking, like, I had one friend whose dad was really into model trains, and so his entire basement was like a city, the train town, like he just collected like every buildings and cars, like that train set. When adults get into model trains, they go berserk with it. And that's the first thing I thought of, because I was like, these beavers, like, it was like a split level mid-century, looked like the Brady Bunch house these things were living in. I was like, holy crap, you guys are like, the beaver den is a real hang. Yeah. They had like beanbag chairs and lava lamp. No, well, not really. But I mean, the beavers version, it was incredible. And they're just bouncing around. We got close enough where they weren't afraid of the kayaks. We weren't right up upon it, but we were 20, 30 feet away, and you're just watching them all jump in the water, get back out, go into the building, come out, moving branches. It was incredible. And at no point did I ever think I could take down one of those beavers. They just, the whole time, I'm like, no, I'm not about to get my hands on one of those.
No, man, they get a chopper and you're busy as a beaver, right? That's their thing.
I saw a photograph yesterday, or I'm sorry, it's a painting, but it was taken from a real thing. It was just like down a rabbit hole. And I forgot about this until right now, but it was a guy boxing a kangaroo from like 100 years ago in Australia.
Is that a Bugs Bunny cartoon?
No, it was a real thing. It was like a sideshow vibe on some weird traveling circus. And the kangaroo and the guy were both wearing boxing gloves. It was like a real thing. And I thought about that because you occasionally will see people reference, kangaroo fights. But there's that video last year, a kangaroo got a hold of a dude's dog, and he ran to free it, and the kangaroo rears back up. He's 6 feet tall, standing eye to eye with a dude, and they both just put up your dukes. It's a weird thing. It's got to be weird to approach a wild animal and you put your fists up, and then it does the exact same thing right back to you.
Counters.
Oh, we're going to do this? We're going to fight like it's the 1920s? Let's go.
Jab, hands up. Yeah.
Yeah, the kangaroos are not. They are not toys. Let me tell you. I've seen. I was at a kangaroo ranch one time, and you feed the little ones, and then there was one in the distance, and he looked really big. And I said to the guy, "What's going on with that kangaroo?" And he goes, "Well, you got to stay away from the reds. There's some that are like red color." And he goes, "The reds are." They're tempestuous, mate. You never know what they're going to think. And he goes, "There's a couple of 7-footers out there. They'll rip you right. Now they'll cut you with that middle claw right across the middle. Your guts will spill out." I'm like, "Wait, I'm sorry, what?" And he goes, "They won't come close." But I said, "Wait, are you? There's no way there's a 7-foot tall kangaroo." And he goes, "Oh, out in the wild, the reds will get to 7 feet, but they got that one claw." And he said, literally. He goes, "There's stories of them disemboweling people with one swipe."
Yeah, that's a velociraptor in Jurassic Park.
Right.
Yeah. They
what that is.
That's right. They still exist. Go to screw dinosaur DNA. They still got dinosaurs. They're called kangaroos.
Yeah, right.
Just go to Australia, man. The KQ Talking text line, a text came in. I got a buddy who tackled a deer that had crashed into the Stout Ale House Bar and Restaurant in Menominee. How do you say that?
Menominee.
Yeah.
Menominee.
Yep. Sounds like a
dang
American hero here.
This was during a Milwaukee Bucks playoff game. The deer actually crashed through the front door. One of the deer ran into a room adjacent to the bar area. Dan, my buddy, cornered it and tackled it, a small to medium-sized doe. He and the manager then carried it outside and released it. Wow.
That's impressive. I mean, even a small doe, they'll put up quite a fight. But I would think that's drunk power, too. You get some drunk power. You just don't know any better.
Yeah, you got old man energy, you got wild animal energy. Don't overlook drunk power.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
Cheers to the long weekend and hope you're enjoying the best of the KQ Morning Show podcast, sponsored by Devani's Pizza and Hot Hoagies. We'll be back with fresh episodes on Monday, July 8th.
The best of the KQ Morning Show.
I don't know about you guys, but, I've never had an issue. Again, growing up in a house with a lot of people, 10 folks, not enough bathrooms, no real bathroom issues with me. If you got to go, you got to go. You know what I mean? Like, there's not a truck stop on earth with a dirty enough bathroom to keep me from getting in there and taking care of business. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. There's not a rest area. On the family Gorman trips as kids, we're driving to Detroit to go see Grandma and Grandpa, and you pull over at the rest areas on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, because we're not going to pull off and pay the toll to get off the Turnpike, and we're not going to buy food. So we have packed sandwiches. We have packed sodas. We have our own food in the car. We pull into a rest area. We have lunch, and if you got to go, you hit that nasty ass Pennsylvania Turnpike rest area, you go in there and you take care of your business. And what we used to do, the Gorman boys, and we used to think this was the funniest thing ever in human history, is one, sometimes two of us, you go into a stall and then you just start groaning and grunting, making as loud. It just, like, you would hear any number of Gorman boys go, "Ah!" And then And I remember very specifically my brother Doug one time taking it to a point where he was literally going, oh, yeah, come on, yes! I mean, like, and I'm 7, he's 9 in there doing this, and I'm just dying, right? And we'd go in there for, 10 minutes. It was just awesome. And, of course, I now look back and realize any adult would recognize these are kids and they're just goofing around, but we thought we were fooling everybody. We just thought they must think, there must be a trucker in there, Right. But I'm just all of these bizarre memories floating through my mind as I see that now, there's just one place I know of, but something tells me this is gonna be coming around the mountain as she comes. A World Heritage tourist site in China. It's called the Yungang Grottos. There's cave art that's 1,500 years old at this section at these grottos in China. They have public bathrooms. They've got a lot of stalls, and they have installed digital timers above each stall door. Oh, geez. So you can see how long it's been since that door shut, since the person in there, and everybody knows how long they've been in there.
All right, so it's counting up. It's not one of these countdown things, and then the door just pops open.
That would be amazing.
Lights go off.
That'd be amazing. Can you imagine if it's a little, if there's a beeper, but it gets faster as it gets closer to 0? Like your backup camera in the car?
Yeah, I did one more wipe.
Oh my God! Yeah. No, it's an ascending. It's an ascending.
People.
It's an ascending timer, and so what they're saying is, what the authorities are saying is that no. Listen, this is a safety feature. This way, in case someone's in there for really a long time, maybe they've had a medical emergency and they can't call for help. Nonsense. That is ridiculous. Yeah. This is entirely, look, get in there, get it out, work through it, and keep it moving.
Yeah, no playing solitaire in there. When I'm at home, I've got to win a game of solitaire on my phone before I can wrap up my business. And sometimes you'd be surprised. I know it seems like a simple game, but you just get a bad run of cards.
Sure.
I don't do that in public. We got to keep on schedule and keep things moving. There are other people in there that have to use it. But, I would not dig the timer in the bathroom.
Man, I'm my first thought was you're going to start seeing this at airports. Yeah. That's where they'll do it. That's where they'll put them in there.
Well, you got to wonder in the airports sometimes. Now, I don't generally have to think about the last time I had to actually use a stall at an airport. That doesn't happen very often. I usually have my timing down pretty good, I guess, unless maybe I had a long layover or something like that. But, I don't think in America, American dudes would like the timer very much. I just don't think we'd be all about that. I think there'd be some blowback, as it were.
I agree. I think that would be kind of a tough one.
Either that or we just wouldn't give a rat's rear, you know?
I have this.
Make it a competition. Maybe it's an incentive.
Is that all you were in there for?
Sure,
minutes?
you fired
That's
up and
nothing.
Yeah, do better on your numbers.
Or what if it was like batting cages? You could pick your speed. You know what I mean? Like, I think I can drop that deuce in 70 seconds. Drop that deuce, and then you run in there and they shut the door, and it just I got this.
Maybe
I got
if they
this.
had a leaderboard in there. Who was in there the shortest amount of time? And,
get a
you know, like if
sponsor.
you're at an arcade, you know, the old leaderboard on the digital display there at the end, like, number one, baby.
High score in Galaga.
Yeah.
There could be a joint. It's time. It's the quickest time versus amount of tonnage left behind, if you will. It's like Chet Waterhouse, the speed fishing. You know, it's lap time and how many walleye you pull out of the speed combination speed skating ice fishing.
Yeah, I guess I'm only wiping once. I hope I get a clean pinch.
Yeah, that's
Feces.
it's everywhere. It's literally everywhere. I remember I walked off a plane in Nashville probably 6-7 years ago, and it was delayed late, and I had been drinking on the flight, and it's probably 1 a.m., and I walked right off that flight, and I had to pee so bad, and I walked in the bathroom, and I was like, this is a really nice bathroom. It's nothing but stalls. Wow, it's so weird. And I'm in there, and I just had to pee, but I'm like, yeah, I'll sit down. I'll just take a load off, and I walked out of that stall, and then it took me that long to realize, like, oh wait, I think I'm in the wrong bathroom. And I walked right out, and thank God the airport was deserted. But my flight was the only flight that had come in that late, and thankfully no one from my flight stepped in there. But as I exited the women's room, there were several people right there walking off, and who looked at me like, duh.
Yeah. Did you give them the old, I got that toilet fixed?
I should have.
Go.
That could have gone really, really wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, chicks.
Yeah, just making sure everything's the way I thought it would be in here.
Well, you know, you've taken sometimes the men's room is on the left, sometimes it's on the right, and you're stumbling along. Maybe you've had a couple. I've done that, but not at an airport, but I've done that before. But usually you know immediately when you're in a woman's bathroom, and it's not just because of the lack of urinals. It's there's a fragrance, there's a couch.
It's decorative.
Usually, yeah, there's flowers.
Wall hangings.
Yeah, right.
Throw pillows.
Wallpaper. A fountain.
Throw pillows. Got my nails done while I was taking care of business.
The best of the KQ Morning Show.
Okay, all week long we've been doing the father aptitude test here on the KQ Morning Show. We've been having a lot of fun ahead of Father's Day, but we did save, I imagine, the best for last. Tony Lee, his two sons, Hudson and Augie, have taken time out of their very busy soccer careers to join us on the KQ Morning Show. This is the only time all summer that they are in the same place at the same time without one of them playing soccer. So thank you both for joining us. Hudson and Augie, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Listen to those two. Just
Cubs.
Good guys right there. So you guys know what we're doing, right? You understand how the father aptitude test works, right?
Yeah.
All right, great. Well, then I've got a series of questions. I'm going to ask you guys about your dad. We'll start off. We'll alternate. I'll call out which guy is supposed to answer, and we'll go down the list, and then we'll see. We'll bring Tony back in, and we'll see how well he and you think you both know him, if that makes any sense. So, let's do this. Tony,
I'm out. Good luck, monkeys.
Tony, see you later.
Adios.
All right, now that Tony's not here, guys, let's spill the dirt. No dirt at all. All right, let's start with this one. Easy one. Hudson, what is your dad's favorite band?
His favorite band is the Beatles.
Wow, a lot of love for the Beatles around here, and that makes sense. Did you guys grow up hearing the Beatles a lot in the house?
We have a poster right by us right now.
All right, that's solid. What poster? What era? What are we looking at?
A Hard Day's Night.
Yeah, strong. Okay. All right, moving on. Augie, what is your dad's favorite movie?
Cinderella.
What is it? I didn't hear.
North by Northwest.
North by Northwest. Right on.
Was there an elbow jab there? Because I could have swore I heard Cinderella and then a snicker.
Yeah, that's what he said first.
That is what he said for Cinderella. Hudson, then did you give him a jab or are you guys just messing around?
I think he was messing around there.
All right.
That's a good one.
Chip off the old block.
Well, the Cinderella answer confirms that these are Tony's kids on the phone, in case anyone was wondering. All right, that's great. North by Northwest, I got it. All right, Hudson, your dad's favorite sport to watch on TV, what is it?
NFL football.
Fair enough. A long-suffering Vikings fan, I guess.
Yep.
Are you a Vikings fan as well?
Yeah, any sports pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Augie, what kind of grades did your dad get in school?
Probably some B's and A's, especially in English.
B's and A's, especially in English. So, all right, he was getting his work done. I'm glad to hear that.
Or at least that's what he told him.
Yeah, exactly. My kids were both in high school the first time it occurred to them to look at me when I was giving them some nonsense about working hard. And Connell goes, be honest, what kind of grades did you get? And I said, that is not the point here.
Yeah, he knows what that means.
Yeah, you know it. All right, Hudson, what is something you do that irritates your dad?
Well, it's not me. It's not me, but I don't think he likes when August clogs the toilet like every day.
Yes.
All right, that'll work. We'll take that. You just set yourself up for payback, but that's all right. We're going to accept it.
Is he on a different diet than you what? What are you guys eating? I love it.
Fantastic. All right, Augie, what is something your dad does to embarrass you?
Sometimes he's like loud in public spaces.
Tony
Yeah.
Lee?
Loud in public spaces, like just could it be anywhere, like restaurant or the movie theater, just anywhere?
It could be anywhere.
Wow, that's great. It could be anywhere. The Tony Lee story. All right, Hudson, if your dad's picking the restaurant, where are you going to eat?
This one I couldn't really choose. I know his favorite restaurant, but that's like in Chicago.
Okay. Well, I mean, throw it out there. Hey, we didn't say it had to be in the Twin Cities.
Cortino in Chicago. Anywhere with like good pasta,
Ooh,
okay. All right. Strong. Cortino in Chicago. All right, Augie, what is your dad's least favorite food?
I'm going to say onions or like chives.
Onions or chives? Wow. Do you like onions or chives?
No.
No. Probably for the best. Just steer clear. Okay, Hudson, your dad's all-time favorite pet. Who was that?
Schnapsy, I think that was his dog.
yeah.
I think I've heard about old Schnapsy back in the day. All right, Augie, what will your dad say is the chore or the task around the house that he has the hardest time getting you to do?
Me and him usually pick up after Hudson a lot.
I don't know what he said.
That's strong. All right, we've got that one. All right, guys, two left, so you each have one more answer. Hudson, what's the coolest thing you've ever gotten to do because of your dad's job? Like, he is Mr. Radio. What's the coolest thing that ever came from that for you?
Definitely, I get to work in his studio and do music in there and stuff. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Definitely a chip off the block there.
Yep, no question about it. All right, Augie, last one. What will your dad say is the ultimate Father's Day gift? Either something you guys have already done in the past on Father's Day or like a dream possible. What would be the coolest? However you want to answer it, go for it.
His dream would be probably Hudson picking up after himself for Father's Day.
All right, that's the ultimate Father's Day gift.
Got to dream big.
That's great. All right, fair enough. Guys, both really, really well done. We've been waiting all week. More than worth the wait, too, I should say. So, all right, I think it's time to get Tony back on the case here.
All right, we're getting him
Plug him back in.
All right, here he comes. The proud papa.
Oh.
Yep.
There he is.
How's my boys?
Tony.
How are my boys?
Oh, it was a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, it was.
Oh man, yeah. That seemed like it was 45 minutes.
There was a lot of screaming. There was some elbows thrown. There's some nausea. It was everything you want.
I expect that.
They broke one phone. We had to go to the backup phone.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, here we go. So Tony, and I'll tell you which of your boys answered each question in case, just to give you a little insight there.
Okay.
So the first question, Hudson answered, Who is your dad's favorite band?
Yeah, well, Beatles.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's
right
it.
next to the poster.
Yeah, the Hard Day's Night poster was the
cool
tip-off.
movie marquee original poster from Rachel's family at a movie theater up in the Iron Range.
Nice. I was the only dad this week that didn't say the Beatles. I kind of wish I would have now.
So it's not too late. You can recant at any time. You're legally allowed to do that. All right, Tony, number 2, Augie was asked, "What's your dad's favorite movie?"
All-time North by Northwest, Alfred Hitchcock.
Well done. But Augie, do you want to tell your dad? Do you want to tell your dad what you said first?
Cinderella.
Oh, a strong second, of course. Makes me weep. Cinderella.
When he said that, I thought I misheard. I went, I'm sorry, what was that? I forgot who we were dealing with.
He's being a goofball.
Tony's wearing his glass slippers this morning.
Someday, my prince.
It is Friday. All right, next up, Hudson was asked, "What's your dad's favorite sport to watch on television?"
Yeah, basketball close, but I go with football.
Yeah, boom,
ding, ding,
NFL.
Ding, ding. I don't have your sound effects, man.
That's all right. Sure. I like the ding, 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 ding. All right, Tony. These are great. Okay, Augie was asked, "What kind of grades did your dad get in school?"
I didn't do phenomenal. I did well enough to get into college. Then I did better once I was in there. So, I don't know what specifics.
Yeah, I mean, what's the average? What were you looking at?
Probably B.
Okay, Augie. Augie, your answer was what exactly?
There were some A's and B's.
But especially in
English.
English. That's right.
Yeah, that's probably true. That's where I got my best grades.
All right. Well, then we're gonna.
Yeah,
Dad.
I had a class in college called Understanding Everyday Life, and I got a B. What does that say?
It's fantastic. Okay, next up, we asked Hudson, what is something that you do that irritates your dad?
Hudson, if we have to go somewhere, he's always, wait in the car, I'll be right there. And then I'll be in the car for like 20 minutes when he gets ready.
I'm sure that's true, but that is not what Hudson said. Hudson, do you want to share with your father what your answer was?
Yeah, well, I don't really think there's much that I do wrong. I think it's mostly August, and I think he clogs the toilet every day.
I don't know.
Well, that is a daily occurrence. I can't believe he said that. No, I find that soothing.
That was the real laugh we were waiting all morning for.
Yeah, that's the best wrong answer we've had all
Poor
week.
August.
It's great. Well, okay, Augie's up next. What is something your dad does to embarrass you? What do you think Augie said?
Well, a couple things. I have a tendency, I call them both honey a lot, and I know I have to stop that doing it in front of their friends or calling them Augie or Hudsy, and they're Hudson and August. Probably doing like weird characters or voices, just acting odd in public.
Yes, indeedy.
That's
they said.
to it. Yeah, ding, ding, ding. Yeah.
Augie, what he said was, well, he can be loud in public spaces.
I'm guessing
That was great.
You're singing Cinderella or using one of your voices. Yeah.
It's really good. All right, up next, this is for Hudson. If your dad picks the restaurant, where would you go to eat? It can be any restaurant anywhere.
Wow, I don't usually get to pick. I don't have much of a say in family excursions.
Yeah, but you do right now. This is your turn, Tony.
It would be an Italian place, although I like to go out to breakfast a lot. Mm-hmm. But I'd go with some Italian place.
So, but specifically, just name one. It could be anywhere.
Wow, D'Amico.
Okay, not true, not correct, but you were in the zone. Hudson took it down to the Windy City and said Cortino.
Oh my God! What a great memory! Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that place.
Yeah.
Oh, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Just there a year ago.
Ari said any place with pasta, so that's a strong half point.
Right.
Yeah, that's good. That's totally good. All right, Augie was up next. What is your dad's least favorite food?
Oh, easy onions. Ick.
Yep.
Boom.
And chives.
Hate chives.
Yeah.
Just the consistency, that little snap,
the
crunch.
Yeah.
The look on his face
That's
right
my
now.
boy.
Disgust.
Well done, Augie. He said onions or chives. Bang.
Good man.
Okay, Hudson up next. What was your dad's all-time favorite pet?
Oh, wow. I feel guilty
Of course.
because he's a spirit in the sky. It was Schnapsy the dachshund, but my current Lulu the golden doodle has captured my heart as the superstar.
See, that's so sweet. Hudson, what'd you say?
Oh, I said Schnapsy, but I guess it could be Lulu.
He said Schnapsy without hesitation.
We're ding. We're going to give him that one because you went
That's
right
good.
to Schnapsy. Now he's crying over there.
Oh, all right.
Schnapsy.
we're rolling. Augie was asked, what will your dad say is the chore or task he has the hardest time getting you to do?
Getting August to do?
Yep.
Oh, cleaning up his hurricane aftermath of a room.
Okay, close. Augie, what was your answer?
I said Hudson not picking up after himself.
Oh, you put it on HUD? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think what he said.
Solid half point.
Yeah, all right.
Solid half point. All right, Hudson's final question of the day. What's the coolest thing you've gotten to do because of your dad's job?
Oh, he loves to come into the studio and make beats, and he's a very talented music creator.
Yeah. Ding, ding, ding,
The
ding,
boys
ding.
both come in and play.
Yeah.
Well done. Bingo right there, baby.
All right.
All right, so, bang, you're just rolling. All right, Augie, the final question of the day. What would your dad say would be the ultimate Father's Day gift?
That I've ever got? Oh, that's pretty easy. This was just a couple Father's Days ago. Rachel and Hudson and August put on a show for me. It was a puppet show, and they had skits, and they did a story of my life, and I was just bawling.
Oh,
it was
my
beautiful and funny, and they had all the details in there, like a coach I hated, experiences I had, people I've known along the way. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
That is
moving.
Beautiful, and
Crushed
nothing
me.
at all what was on August's mind.
Okay.
Not even close. Augie, what did you say?
I said the dream Father's Day gift was to Hudson to clean up after himself.
that would be golden as well.
For Hudson to clean up after himself, then the puppet show. Get it right. Well, I'm calling that. That looks like 11 for 12, which means that's, I believe, the best percentage of the week, gentlemen.
My babies.
We got the new champs.
Boy, that was very strong. Hudson and August, a couple of budding soccer stars, taking time out of their busy athletic careers. Thank you both so much for being here. It made this day very special for all of us, and especially your pops.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Oh, so polite. I love you guys. I'll see you a little later.
All right.
Oh.
And you didn't say honey. That was good of you, Tony.
Yeah, it wasn't easy.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
Cheers to the long weekend and hope you're enjoying the best of the KQ Morning Show podcast, sponsored by Devani's Pizza and Hot Hoagies. We'll be back with fresh episodes on Monday, July 8th.
The best of the KQ Morning Show.
And this is a real story that we are not making up. A woman has filed for divorce because her husband would not, could not, will not stop over-tightening all of the jar lids in their house.
What am I missing?
She literally was like, I'm losing my mind. Now,
losing your mind is right.
I think about things like, okay, you're being divorced because, my wife tried to poison me with Mountain Dew and Roundup. Adultery, bigamy. He went to prison, mental abuse, physical drug addiction, irreconcilable differences. There's a million reasons.
Yeah.
How about he screwed the jar lids too tight? She literally said, look, I know it sounds like no big deal, but every jar in the house is over tightened to the point where he has to be there to open them. It's a control thing. Mm-hmm. It's so annoying when he isn't around. She can't get anything done, and she has confronted her husband about it many times over years, and it would get better for a little while, and then slowly but surely he starts over-tightening all the jars again.
You know those little hand grippers we used to use when we were kids? You have kids that do that so you get the Popeye forearms. I'm like, I'm going to... Maybe she just needs to get some of those. But this does sound like the kind of petty crap that happens in bad marriages over long periods of time, where something you do to spite each other, or you just cranks them down. She's crazy.
No, check this out. She said if he wasn't home, she would always have to open a brand new jar of something, because if she already had, like, say, you got a jar of ragu, you use half the spaghetti sauce, and then he would retighten it back to where it was inoperable. And then, but the newer ones, brand new, unopened, are easier to open than when he would get a hold of it. So she was opening up, new jars. And she discovered jars that he never would have opened, like jars of products he never used in the back of the pantry. She was finding those were over-tightened. He was going through and intentionally doing this just to drive her crazy.
Maybe she's arthritic.
She was losing sleep. She had a breakdown. She said she was getting nauseous. She would throw up, and she would feel like she was having heart attacks. Her husband was out of town once. She had a neighbor come over to unscrew all the lids for her. And at one point, she even had to smash a glass jar of figs just to get to the figs.
Well, when you've got to have the figs, when it's fig time, figgy pudding, we just have Christmas. We're celebrating that.
By the way,
she's crazy.
The husband's reaction, according to the woman again, he was blindsided because we had no other issues other than the jar thing. He suggested counseling, and she said, there's no point. I just can't get past the damn jar lids. He won't even admit that he did it on purpose. He has given me no reason.
He is a freak.
Well, because at this point, it's not about the jars. It's about who thinks that makes. Why would you intentionally make this woman's life miserable by over tightening the jars?
Yeah, I'm on her side.
He said, she said, Tony.
Right.
But, I'm just thinking that a woman that is, first of all, really, he can tighten every jar and you can't open it? Is this...
How about you invest in some really nice, very easily to seal Tupperware? And just unjar everything.
Channel locks.
That's a great idea.
Or just go to cartons. Yeah, just come up with different packaging to begin with. Go down to
Ace Hardware and get yourself a nice big pair of channel locks.
Maybe the whole point is, maybe what the guy's trying to say is it too much to ask that you slice a few tomatoes, throw some onions and garlic in a pan, add a little paste, and then we got our own homemade sauce? Is it that tough?
What if she had put the camera in there, the hidden camera, and then, had the video evidence of him just cranking down on the lids?
I would watch that. I would watch like a 60-minute edit of a guy just tightening jars,
and just snickering and putting it back.
Yeah. But I mean, getting himself up in a getting all worked, huffing and puffing. You know what I mean? Just.
She's going to need these figs tomorrow.
Oh, that'd be great.
She's got to find a way to get back at him, like putting all his clothes inside out or something. Something makes his life difficult as well.
Yeah.
There's got to be something.
Well, that's what marriage is about, right? It's the secretly spiting each other, and torturing each other, doing those little things that aggravates the other, but being passive-aggressive about it, like, what? I just tightened the lid on the fig jar like I would normally tighten any lid, moderately.
It's the new, if we're going to brand marriage, we got the slogan, marriage. It's always something.
She broke the fig jar. Just smashed it open. I've got to have some damn figs. She does this every time.
Who's eating figs?
Out of a jar.
Last time you had a fig, get a fig Newton if you want a fig.
Damn figs.
I don't think those are figs.
Yeah.
Wait, someone's going to sue them. You can't call it a fig Newton and not have actual figs in there. We know that's a class action.
Growing up in a Chips Ahoy house, when there was the occasional fig Newton, it was like a Easter. Like, oh my God, fig Newtons.
See, we were the other way. Grandma had the fig Newtons. I didn't. Of course, hers were always pretty stale. She didn't believe in closing a package.
Oh, the difference between a really fresh fig Newton and a 1% less fresh fig Newton is a huge difference. That's a very slippery slope. Open the bag and eat them all. That was the Gorman way.
Yeah.
Make no mistake about it.
The best of the KQ Morning Show.
McDonald's has been experimenting with an AI drive-through ordering system for the past few years, and they've pretty much decided we got to put this bad boy up on blocks. It's just not happening. They're saying it's still. So think about all the things that AI does. AI can make Elvis Presley sing "Baby's Got Back," right? Mm-hmm. AI can put any voice into any context. AI can write a term paper. AI is clearly struggling to get an order right where French fries are involved at McDonald's. I mean, it's just a little tough. A lot of TikTokers are documenting issues. A gentleman received an ice cream cone with bacon added.
Okay, and what's the problem?
I'm not really sure. But what they're saying is all of our AI systems are going to be turned off. We got to go back to the drawing board here. We got to keep testing. I went through a McDonald's drive-through. It's been, I don't know, sometime in the last couple of years. I was with my son, and we were just going, and we're like, let's grab a quick cheeseburger or something. We were on our way somewhere else and just needed a quick hit. Yeah. And when I pulled up, and I just remember the guy said, "Will you be ordering using the app?" And I said, I'm here.
Yeah, that happens every time now.
And I said that, and of course my son looked at me like, "You idiot." They always say that. Like, if you order through the app, you get a discount. But I was like, well, I would have ordered through the app if I was going to order through the app.
And now they have an app line. I know Chick-fil-A has an app line, and that's the people always flying through while I'm in the 3-block line. And I'm like, I just use the app. But that bothers me a little bit because I'm actually sitting there at the squawk box when you ask me that. I'm like, well, my answer is always like, next time, can we just do this, you and me? Here, we're talking. Let's make McDonald's love together.
I was
I mean, what is it?
What a come online that
Well, I mean, do I just sit there and go, excuse me? And then it's awkward, like I'm apping while they're sitting there. And I'm like, okay, I'm ordering on the app right now. Or can I just tell you what I freaking want?
I heard a podcast not that long ago. Who's the writer, the New Yorker guy, Malcolm Gladwell, who's written the book Blink and the 10,000 Hours guy, Malcolm Gladwell. Yeah, he has a podcast called Revisionist History, and one entire episode was about McDonald's French fries and how. And I guess the 80s, when fat-free was a brief craze, everything had to be fat-free. And then everybody realized, actually, fat's kind of important. We need to have fat in our diet.
Flavor?
Yeah. But McDonald's made this big switch, and he told the story of the guy who was, like, largely responsible, played a huge part in the fat-free craze, and got McDonald's. He campaigned. This one guy was like insistent at McDonald's, like, you've got to change the way you make your fries.
Stop it.
You're frying them in like beef fat products, and you got to get rid of all that. And this guy made it happen. And McDonald's changed their fry recipe at some point, and they recognized these don't taste nearly as good.
Right.
So we'll just make the portions bigger. And people were like, "Oh, that's cool."
All right.
And so the whole point is, well, do you want flavor or do you want more of it? And
so where supersize came from?
And basically, and it was all because they were like, people were like, these French fries suck now. They used to be the best. And McDonald's like, well, then just have more for the same amount of money. And they never switched back, even though beef tallow, that was the word they were throwing around.
That's beef fat,
And Gladwell went to a place like a McDonald's, like a place in New Jersey where they test all the food and they have all the stuff. And he got them to make old school French fries, which no one's tasted since like 1980 something. And on the podcast, he's like, there's a McDonald's technician / chef / scientist, and they make old school McDonald's fries for him. And he's eating them and he's like, it's like he's having an orgasm, but he's like, you cannot imagine how good this is. And he's got a young producer with him who's like in her 20s, so she's never had one. And she's literally like, this is the best thing I've ever eaten in my life. And he's like, why won't you guys go back and just make a smaller order, but make them better again? It was fascinating, but it reminded me the days when Wendy's first hit town, when I was a kid, we were like, Wendy's, that burger's better than a Big Mac or a quarter pounder, but McDonald's was all about the fries. And we used to you'd get your burger at Wendy's, and then you'd get your fries at McDonald's, then you'd have your dinner.
Multiples.
Because they both had drive-thrus. But McDonald's used to be the fries, man. They had the fries.
Now I'm really craving some old McDonald's fries. I mean, I will pay $1,000 if Steve will give me $1,000 if someone can get me some old school McDonald's fries.
There's a spot in New Jersey that'll hook you up, apparently.
All right. Well, damn it.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
Cheers to the long weekend and hope you're enjoying the best of the KQ Morning Show podcast, sponsored by Devani's Pizza and Hot Hoagies. We'll be back with fresh episodes on Monday, July 8th.
The best of the KQ Morning Show.
We reported very important information a few weeks ago about a woman in southern India who had been caught. She was an airline employee, a flight attendant, and she was caught smuggling gold. In fact, it was almost an entire kilogram of gold, and she had inserted it. Let me see if I get this right. That's right, in her rectum.
Don't say like that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
She and her supervisor were busted. It was the two of them cooked this up.
I mean, I get a Juicy Lucy in me, and I feel full. You know,
Yeah,
it's just hard.
yeah.
You're constantly clenching. You know,
Wrecked him, damn near killed him.
What about that conversation? No, I think you're going to be the one to carry this.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Where do you want me to put it? I tell you what. Why don't I just show you? I don't even know how that happens.
A whole
I don't get it.
kilo? Can
Just
we split it up?
spitballing here.
Yeah.
And so, but this is this is just another day for people who do security at airports all around the world. On a list of most bizarre things people have tried to smuggle, either the item itself or how they tried to do it. In Bangkok, Thailand, a man was pulled over. He had a bunch of stuffed animals, like little plush toys, in a bag, and he put it through the X-ray machine, and somebody had a little suspicion, unzipped it, and it's just a bunch of stuffed animals, like a dozen of them. But one actually had some warmth. It was a drugged, sound asleep, actual tiger cub amidst other stuffed little animals.
That's pretty smart.
Kind of smart.
Yeah.
Except, but what's the point of smart? Why are you trying to carry a tiger anywhere? It's like a time release, slow plan suicide, because that animal's going to kill you eventually.
Hey, Mike Tyson needs a pet.
I guess so.
Did he
That
have
must
a
be
tiger
what that
for
is.
a while? Was it a lion? I can't
He
forget.
had a tiger.
Now he's into
Tiger,
pigeons,
yeah.
you know.
He had a tiger in The Hangover. I don't know if he had a tiger in real life. That made
Wait
for
a
some
minute.
good stuff.
about
Hangover
Tony
was not a
Montana?
documentary?
It was not a documentary. It was based on real events, however. How about this? A gentleman in China was, with this just last year, was attempting to smuggle through a turtle, a rare type of small turtle. He had it in his takeout container wrapper in a bun as if it were a burger. He literally took a turtle, put the bun around it, stuck it in like imagine like a little quarter pounder box.
Yeah.
Stuck it in there. You got to like the idea, though. You got to love the thinking on that.
Yeah, that's
sure. No one's going to notice.
There's
My
a guy that's
burger's
not
moving.
Right. There's a guy that's not a drinker at an airport. See, I would get drunk and then go, oh my God, I think did I eat that burger? Oh, that was the turtle.
That was the turtle.
I thought it was a little crunchy.
An Australian woman detained after landing in Singapore. She had 15 plastic bags of live tropical fish. She wore a custom-made apron. The fish bags were underneath her skirt. The people at customs are like, what's all these flipping sounds around your waist? She's just got a bunch of fish flopping around underneath her skirt.
All right.
I mean,
for a good time.
You got to be high when you think that makes sense, right? You always hear stories about people who they're jonesing for whatever their addiction, and they're digging holes in the backyard. I think I buried some cocaine there, didn't I? You know, like that suddenly makes sense to you. Sewing fish into your skirt, you got to already be high. When that makes sense, you got to be whacked on something.
And what's the market there? I know tropical fish, they get a lot of money, right? At a pet store.
I guess.
At a specialty store.
I
but
guess.
That's not where you're selling it. You're selling it on the streets, on the internet. So it's a bargain deal. All right, whatever, I guess.
I just imagine you're in the big city and you turn left and you see an alley and there's a guy standing there going, yo man, fish. I got fish. Tropical fish.
Opens up his blazer.
Right.
There was in Tucson International Airport in Arizona, a woman had a pound of methamphetamine wrapped in a tortilla so that it looked like a burrito. She didn't think to put any other burrito-type items in it, though. It's like, sister, the refried beans, the cheese, some
that's
jalapeno,
less meth, though, man.
Anything that's going to have a different scent, because the drug dogs, they were all over her. A pound of meth.
Burritos.
Not a good one. How about this? A Norwegian man detained. He had 14 live royal pythons and 10 albino leopard geckos placed under his clothing, held in place by socks and cans.
Hey.
But that's not what tipped him off. They found a tarantula in his luggage that he had checked, and then checked him out, and on his person he had all those other animals.
That means a lot of them are getting through, because they always catch like less than 1% of whatever gets through.
That's exactly the point. Like, how many animals are? I mean, how many animals have you sat next to on a plane you had no idea were there?
I don't know. I mean, I felt like I was the animal on the plane, but maybe not. Yeah, maybe there was some exotic. This is
that an albino leopard gecko, or are you just glad to see me?
That's called our next pandemic.
I guess so. A South Korean woman was attempting to smuggle. This one's even hard. Boy, she was asked to drink or discard her water bottle during a routine security check. They're like, ma'am, you got to get rid of that water.
Yeah.
She sipped the water, but then she didn't swallow it, and she was she was uncomfortable with her water bottle. Security got suspicious. They said, ma'am, you need to spit that liquid out. She spat out several dozen tadpoles she had in her mouth.
What is
She was thinking she could get all the way through the tadpoles live. Not in a plastic bag in her mouth, loose in her mouth.
All right. The meth I get some of these things, but again, the tadpoles are going to grow into a frog that you're going to sell?
Not that rare.
I mean, right, exactly. I'll find you a frog. Hell, it's been raining so much they're, swimming down the ditches now. But maybe it was one of those acid frogs or something. I don't know.
I guess it could have been. With a few more. You know what? Here's a good one. New Delhi, India. Airport detained a man. He was trying to smuggle a small nocturnal primate called a slender loris between his underpants and his thigh. Right there in the front office.
That's a fetish.
I've got a monkey in my pants right now, but I'm not crossing state or international lines, so it's fine. If I leave my home and come to KQ with a monkey in my pants, totally fine.
Right, yes, and whatever disease your monkey has stays in your pants.
Just don't try to, cross international borders with that. A widow and her stepdaughter, check this out, attempted to transport a dead elderly man from Liverpool to Berlin by pretending he was just asleep.
Sure, my weekend at Bernie's.
Had him in the wheelchair. They were literally trying to do this. They wanted to avoid the cost of transporting a body for a funeral in Germany.
Right, okay.
This is difficult. 651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talk and text line. Tony, who's on the horn?
Barry from South Carolina is an interesting find from TSA.
Barry, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. How the heck are you?
I'm good. What do you got for us, brother?
Well, so I do installation of heavy medical equipment, and sometimes I do some stuff for subcontract work for the TSA.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started doing that, I got on TSA's Instagram account, which is fabulous, by the way. And there was a gentleman down in Fort Lauderdale that thought it'd be a good idea. And again, even the first part of this, I'm just like, okay, what is he thinking? He decided it'd be a good idea to pack a uncooked whole chicken in his carry-on, which is weird.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's
weird. Uncooked chicken. But he thought in his infinite wisdom that it'd be a good idea to try and sneak a handgun instead of chicken.
Oh, okay. That's I mean,
you got your turducken, you have your
gunkin.
Exactly.
That's a lot of grease on those chickens, man. You're going to be dropping that gun all the time.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But anyway, thanks for taking my call. Have a great day, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
That's ridiculous.
You know what you can't x-ray through? An uncooked chicken. They'll never see that gun in there.
I feel like it's...
Oh, is that where I left that gun?
It's important that I bring this gun with me. Hang on. Anybody got a chicken?
Right.
Yeah. No, don't bother cooking it. I'm in a hurry. I'm running a little late.
Yeah.
That'll do. Just raw like that.
No, that's fine.
I mean, it's now right, exactly. Here's what happens. You shoot the gun, and then you end up licking your finger, and you've got botulism right there.
The TSA Instagram account he referenced, I have seen it, and it is hilarious. There's never a shortage of people just thinking they can get away with whatever. And especially the gun thing. It's amazing how many people... Quite honestly, I forgot I had a gun in my purse.
Hundreds.
I forgot I had a gun. It's every day.
Mama Dottie headed to the airport with a handgun. Dad sent her to good old Minneapolis, hang out with her son for a couple of days, and then she was flying back east to see her sisters. We're leaving for the airport. Right there in the doorway, Mom said, oh. Before we head to the airport, she's already been at my place for 2 days, and she pulls out the 9mm from her purse. I better not take this to the airport.
Best not.
Yeah, no, Mom, why do you have the 9mm? Well, Dad said, coming to the big city, I should have a 9mm. I'm like, oh, okay, thanks. And then she flies back. She's getting ready to drive back to South Dakota and says, oh, yeah, I should take your dad's handgun back. I said, no, tell Dad. He knows where to find it. Okay, I'll hang on to this one for him. Quit sending my mom to the city with a frickin' gun, Dad.
I have a friend who shall remain unnamed, a touring musician who, in the midst of a breakup with his long-term live-in, unmarried but partner of many years, they separated. He was on his way to take a trip to the airport, and he had left the home. They lived together for a while, like as they were figuring out who was going to get what. Yeah. And he sent her a note and said, hey, I want to come by. Can I grab a few things before I leave town? She said, sure, tell me what you want. I'll just leave it out for you, and then I'm going to split, because they didn't want to see each other. And he said he gave her the list, and then it included his jacket, like that one jacket I always love. And she said, sure. And he went into the house, and it was all, the stuff's right there in a pile. He put the jacket on. He put the shirts in the bag. He went off to the airport. She put a hollow point bullet in the jacket pocket. Didn't mention it to him.
Whoopsie.
Yeah, he was naked in a room full of TSA agents like 31 minutes later.
Yeah, see, and that's
a fun prank.
That's my issue. Listen, Dad, if you want to send Mom armed, whatever, she can handle herself. She knows how to use a 9mm, but she's flying in a plane, and she's terribly forgetful. Yep. And that's what made me irate, is that if she had gotten out there, it would have taken me a year to get her out of frickin', whatever, holding or something like that. So she would have been on a no-fly list. But, yeah, no, that's called some bitter revenge right there.
Get the KQ Morning Show podcast wherever you listen. 92 KQRS.